method by which information is converted into a secret code that hides the information's true meaning. The science of encryption and decrypting information is called cryptography. In computing, encrypted data is also known as plain text and encrypted data is called ciphertext. There are two types of encryption, symmetric and asymmetric. In symmetric encryption, it is a type of encryption where only one key, which is also known as secret key, is used to both encrypt and decrypt electronic information. The entire communication of symmetric encryption must exchange the key so that it can be used in the decryption process. Symmetric encryption uses a private key to encrypt and decrypt decrypted email. A private key is known as a secret key. Is a variable in encryption that is used with an algorithm to encrypt and decrypt code. Secret keys are only shared with the keys generator, making it high secure. Private keys play an important role in symmetric cryptography. And in asymmetric encryption, a public key is used to So 1 minute.
Yeah.
Encryption uses the public key to the recipient to encrypt the messages. Then if the recipient wants to decrypt the message, the recipient will have to use his or her private key to decrypt. The meaning of public key is, in cryptography, a public key is a large numerical value that is used to encrypt data. In asymmetric cryptography, whatever is encrypted with a public key may only be decrypted by its corresponding private keys and vice versa. Components of public key encryptions are plain text. This is the message which is readable or understandable. And the second one is ciphertext. The ciphertext is provided as an output of encryption algorithm. And the third one is encryption algorithm. And fourth one is decryption algorithm. And last one is public and private key, which I have just said now. Sir, I could gather only this much information, sir.
Okay, now. So I'll explain now. So here, encryption is a method of converting plain text into ciphertext. Using this method, security of data can be achieved effectively. So what is the basic meaning of encryption in the sense? It is a method for converting a normal text into encrypted text, that is also called as ciphertext. So an encrypted file can be decrypted if the user has the capability of accessing a secret key or password. So if this context, unencrypted data is referred as plain text and encrypted data is called as ciphertext. Encrypt avani data emo plain data avutundi, encrypt ayinademo ciphertext avutundi. So the algorithms which are used to encrypt the data are nothing but encryption algorithms. So here you have two types of encryptions. One is symmetric encryption and second one is asymmetric encryption. Under symmetric encryption, Here we use only one key, that is a private key or a secret code or a password. So with the help of that password we can encrypt your plain text to ciphertext. Okay, so that is symmetric encryption. In this, just a second. Now, in this symmetric encryption is also known as private key or a secret key encryption. In this, only one secret key is required for encryption and decryption of the message. This key is shared by both sender and recipient if it is simple process when compared to asymmetric encryption. Let's come to this asymmetric encryption. Here it is also known as public key encryption. In this we require two keys, one is public key, another one is private key. So the sender will have private key, and he will send, sender will have public key and he will send a private key to the recipient. So recipient has to open that file or he has to decrypt that file, whatever the key which is sent by the sender, and the keys must be matched, whatever the code he is having and whatever the code he has sent. So based on the code what he has said, he has to decrypt the message. So a public key and a private key must be kept secret for security purpose, while the other key must be shared by sender and recipient if the complex and time consuming process when compared to symmetric. So how public key cryptography was invented by Diffie and Hellman in the year 1976. For this reason, it is sometimes known as Diffie-Hellman encryption. So the procedure is called as Diffie-Hellman encryption. What are the elements which are included in this? Text data, encryption algorithm, public key and private key, ciphertext, and decryption algorithms. These are the 5 things which are included in, these are the elements of a public key. So text data, whatever the message you want to send, that is nothing but text message. Encryption algorithm. So to encrypt the message, we need to perform an algorithm. There are various encryption algorithms, but the RSA public key encryption algorithm is mostly used. For example, Johnny uses the public key of Sunny and encrypted his message by using RSA algorithm. So immediate and third one is public key and private key, just now we have discussed. And ciphertext or unreadable text. Once the plain text is encrypted, finally we will get ciphertext. And decryption algorithm is nothing but these are the ways how you can convert a ciphertext to normal plain text. So these are the things, and here you can find a diagram. So here you have an input message. With the help of this RSA public key encryption algorithm, we will convert this message. So here Johnny's public key table, here he is having some public keys. So with the help of ciphertext, he will send a private key for the Sunny. So he will read that output and he will encrypt that, he will decrypt that with the help of this public key. So that is about basic elements of cryptography. What is encryption techniques? It is also called as two security technique or encryption techniques. Now we go with digital signature and digital certificates. What is digital signature? Is one of the methods of encryption using to provide authentication. The main idea of the digital signature is to protect the message or data from modifications. So digital signature is very popular in the world of network security. Basically, it is a kind of asymmetric cryptography used to support the security properties of a handwritten signature on paper. So the digital signature scheme provides two algorithms, where one algorithm is for signing, which requires the user's secret or private key, and other algorithm is for verifying the signature, which requires the user public key. So what we do is, digitally we will sign a signature, human signature, and he will keep it in secret code. They will encrypt it with a secret code. So if you want to use that signature, you have to enter a password. So if you enter a password, then it will authenticate, then only that signature will be pasted on a certificates. So digital certificates are the certificates that are used to verify one's identity is doing any business or transactions on the internet. So these certificates are issued by trusted third party called as certificate authority or certification authority, CA. A digital certificate contains the username, serial number, a copy of the certificate holder, public key. So all these things are included in the digital certificates who have this digital signature. సో ఎవరికైతే డిజిటల్ సిగ్నేచర్ అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ అయ్యి ఉంటుందో, ఎవరైతే ఆన్లైన్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ చేస్తారో వాళ్ళకి దీస్ డిజిటల్ సర్టిఫికేట్స్ విల్ బీ ఇష్యూడ్. సో దిస్ డిజిటల్ సర్టిఫికేట్ విల్ కంటైన్ ద నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద యూజర్ అండ్ ద పబ్లిక్ కీ or a private key of that user, and what are the type of transactions what he is doing, and all the details will be mentioned in that digital certificate. So what is the role of digital signature in network security? So here digital signatures are used to provide authentication of any electronic information. So whenever we are performing any online transactions, then we require this digital signatures to authenticate a person. For instance, assume that there are two users of internet, say A and B. User A wants to send some confidential message to B, assuring that the message is unmodified and sent by him only. Then sender A writes his message into an email and applies a special function known as hash function on the message. This creates a checksum, a value that checks the authenticity during data transmission of the information. Then A uses its private key that has previously obtained from public key authority to encrypt the checksum. The encrypted message becomes A's digital signature of the message. The checksum and the message is then sent to the receiver. See here, first sender A want to send a message to B. So he will apply for a hash function and he will have his public key encrypted. So here it will generate a private key for sender A. So with this public key encryption, we'll go with this here public key encryption of sender B. So what he will do is he will also apply for a hash function, and through this public key encryption the message will be validated, and he also applies his public key of receiver B. This is private key of sender A. So both will have the keys. So with the help of this public key encryption, he will transfer his key also. Okay. So receiver B will decrypt that message with the help of this public key which is received by A. So and the sender will hold his private key of that particular message. So this is the basic transmission what will happen in between role of digital signature. So what are the properties? It must authenticate the content when the signature is being done. It must be responsible for verifying the author. It must be verifiable by the third party. So these are the things what we have for digital signature. And what are the requirements for this? It must be in the form of bit pattern. This process of producing digital signature must be easy. A copy of digital signature must always be preserved, and digital signature must be both easily recognizable and verifiable. So everyone can verify and recognize the digital signature, whether it is a valid digital signature or not. We can check it out with the help of these encryption mechanisms. It must include some unique information to prevent forgery and denial by the sender. So we can't do any forgery because it is already digitalized, so you can't change the digital signature. And it must be highly impractical for hackers to forge a digital signature by any means, which may be include creation of a new message for the already existing digital signature. So they can't do any hacking. So these are the main advantage of the digital signature whatever we have. Okay. So these are the topics what you have in unit 2, important topics. So maximum we have done with unit 1 and 2. So maximum what is the next unit we have? Unit 3. So in the third unit, we are going to discuss about consumer-oriented e-commerce and what are the applications. Here we'll go with mainly we'll deal with online shopping, online transactions, online business. Okay, how a consumer is interacted with the e-commerce, how he is related to this e-commerce, and what is the roles and responsibilities of a consumer and e-commerce applications. We'll discuss all these things in unit 3. So see you guys. We'll see you in the next class tomorrow with third unit. Okay, thank you.